Year 2. Epilogue. It had all collapsed so suddenly. He could not run, not as he had before, his wounds were many, and they had been staunched with what little power he had still left from the drained Dragunov. Mr. Mammon had long since fled, and Crimsolino had only followed him reluctantly at first, and what power or intimidation he had held over her felt weak and broken, and at some point she had straightened her feathers and with a great laugh flown into the sky. They would both return. If he understood the rules of this place, they must. But Leopold shuddered, breathing heavily. And the moment he had fled the ancient jungle shrine for the second time, it had been to meet the assembled banners of demons, so many demons, and it had been almost his moment to laugh. For in his mind lurked thousands of charms and sigils designed to imprison and strip the will from the foul creatures. But they were led by three he did not know, and the misshapen creature that Crimsolino had been told to kill, and with ridiculous cries such as "Life is cheap, have no fear of death," or "The only thing you have to lose is your obligation to the Dark Lord." He had been pushed back and beaten, and utterly humiliated. He had heard the self-proclaimed Dark Lord announce something like "We're coming to get you, Lorelei," or perhaps something even more soul-shatteringly embarrassing, and the only factor that had allowed him to retreat, though without his pride, was the arrival of the great dragon, who attacked nothing but whose very presence caused a stillness akin to death. So here he was, hobbling along, his dominion over his associates damaged if not destroyed, his link to the great dragon's mind severed, and the only victory to his name the fact that the dragon no longer slept. But that was all he needed. Laughing quietly, Leopold lay his cane in the ashen snow, and then lay beside it. Already the buzzing hum of the howling months had faded and things were beginning to feel more pleasant, if not balmy. He wasn't sure what these coming times might be called, but he could not run on fire and hate forever. A pleasant, temperate season would not be so bad. For a minute, he had actually thought about ending it all, about simply being content to live without this struggle. He had seen the pride in her eyes, that foolish girl, whom he had condemned to such a death, and yet had escaped regardless. To pretend it had been part of his plan, where had that even come from? It would have been better still to take her under his auspices, to show her what real magic looked like. Perhaps she might be capable of doing what he could not on such a petty level, but... His breathing quickened, and Leopold forced himself to the magical wounds. Magic, when ignored, grows weaker over time. The bullets he would force Mammon to extract upon his return. But that girl, Lorelei. He would meet her again. His eyes shut for a moment, and he was certain of it. Before the earth blood seeped as rich as oil upon the carapace of granite and obsidian. There was a time when the sky would watch upon its children, granting them safety in gentle nights, and encouragement with the coming of spring. It is said that the earth grew jealous of the way the sky won hearts. Not with labor nor work, but playful smiles and tender charities so unknown in the land beneath. One day, when the sky could not see for the cover of silver, howling clouds, so ferociously did the earth strike the heavens favored with fissures that their bones sung. And as they fell into the earth, they begged the sky to help them, and it could not. Rain fell for months, turned to snow and finally to ice, racked with his grieving howl. From that day forth, the sky sought to bar the earth right to all things. No longer would creatures of the ground fly freely amongst the stars. And when the seasons changed they were a trial distant and judging. So that the sky might never feel the pain of trust again. Only to see his own heart ripped from him and cast below. Regardless of whether it is true or false. This is one story of how the sky and earth first learned hate. Chapter end.